Hi, parents. It's Nate Brady. I'll give another minute just for people to get clicked in, and then we'll get started, if everyone can hear me. Okay, well, might as well get started. For those of you who have not met me yet, my name is Nate Brady. I am the new head coach of the Rugby program here at Loyola Blakefield. I'm very excited to be involved, and so far it's been a great time getting involved. It's a great group of boys. I'm looking forward to the season. Just a little bit of background about myself. I'm an '08 graduate from Loyola, so I'm a Loyola alumni. Came through the Loyola Blakefield rugby program. I went on to play through Towson University, and then through a men's club out in Chicago. I have just returned back to the area and am now looking forward to getting fully involved with the Loyola program and building and continuing its successes. It's been a successful program, and we're going to keep it that way. And so far, it's a pretty great start to the season. I don't have much in a formal way of a presentation. I just got home from training myself. We were at practice just a little bit ago. So I figured I would just kind of introduce myself and open it up to the floor. If anyone has questions about the upcoming season, about myself, other coaches, just general anything, now is a perfect time to put those out there. So feel free to start asking questions if anyone has any.
Sure. Who are the coaches?
The coaches, that's a good question. So it's myself, and then we have a parent involved, Andy Sheehan. He has been involved with the program for a little while. He has a junior who's part of the program. And then there are a couple players who play at a local men's club called Baltimore Chesapeake. We have Hunter Hastings. He is our forwards coach. We have Blake Carroll, who assists with the backs. And then Byron Batchelor also assists with the backs. And then Mr. Jesse Burns, he's a history teacher at Loyola. He's been helping out as a kind of an admin role, a fitness coach role, and he just kind of helps out with overall general logistics. But so those are the coaches. I am there pretty much every single day, along with Mr. Burns, and then the other coaches, as they are available, make their way to training. So some are there 2-3 days a week, others a little bit more, but at least Mr. Burns and myself are there on a daily basis, and then the other ones are in as they're available.
Is there any safety gear that we should be purchasing for the kids? My son's new to the sport. I don't even know the rules. I thought his position was something fantastical, so I actually saw it on YouTube. So he's thrown up me something.
That is a good question. So first and foremost, mouth guard is extremely important. They should all already have those already. If not, they need one. Other than that, it's all personal preference. So in rugby, there is a thing called a scrum cap. It is a very cloth with kind of little foam padding kind of sewn into it. It is used most of the time. Forwards use that. It's number one, kind of. It's not a helmet. It is more to kind of protect against general bumps, scrapes, and bruises. It helps for the forwards in the scrum when their heads are wedged in between other players' thighs. It helps stop the ears from getting any sort of abrasions or swelling in that. There's nothing that can fully help with like concussions. I mean, it's the same as a football helmet, skateboard helmet. So, it's all personal preference. So if they would like to have a scrum cap, by all means, that they're more than welcome to wear one. My one concern with those is, and granted, we talk about safety all the time, especially when we talk about tackling. There's certain techniques, making sure your head's on the appropriate side, and we kind of go through that. It's a nonstop process, always kind of reiterating safety, safety, safety. We know we don't have pads on. The issue sometimes I've seen with some players in the past, they will wear a scrum cap and then they treat it almost like it's a helmet, especially if they've been a football player, and they give a little bit of that kind of false sense of security at times. So that's my one concern, but that's also something that, comes from our end, coaching, making sure the boys are approaching tackles in an appropriate and safe way. The only other option for gear is they make shoulder pads, and to some extent they are just, again, very small kind of cloth or foam pads that are sewn into a tight fitting shirt, like almost like an Under Armour shirt, that they just help with like the contact and kind of help a little bit kind of with the shoulders, but again, it's very minimal, so it's kind of just helps with the general bumps and things like that. And we have to make sure on our roles as coaches is to teach the appropriate techniques and drill, make sure everyone kind of has the proper instincts and put themselves in the safest place while we're going into contact. So, but of course, if any of the boys want to wear those, I'd hold nothing against any of them. It's all personal preference. If it helps them feel a little bit better, then absolutely wear it. It's a common thing from new players all the way to a lot of professionals. Still wear them. So yeah, by all means, if they want to, go right ahead.
Hi, I have a question regarding, I noticed on Saturday during the scrimmage that the kids were getting pizza afterwards, and I've been told by a couple of my friends whose sons played last year and have now graduated, that the parents would get together after the games and have some kind of treats or whatever for our team and then also for the other team. Is there somebody that's organizing that, or how is that going to work?
Yes. So in rugby, it's a big kind of tradition. You always kind of host the other team from a high school level all the way up to a men's. You provide food, beverages, and kind of have a moment where you kind of get to know each other. It's always kind of a fun, welcoming environment. That's kind of rugby at its core. So there is hospitality for the other team and for the players post match. Mrs. Kraus, she is a parent. She has been very helpful in the past, and I believe this season is also lending a hand there to help organize. There is, I believe it's called Sign Up Genius. There is kind of a sign up sheet where that'll go out. I've loaded up the emails from the parents that I've had so far into that, and then we'll kind of send that out. And then, I think it's kind of, and if parents want to bring, certain things or snacks or whatever, they can sign up for there. Otherwise, I believe there's a small fee for dues that just kind of gets set up and then kind of broken out over the season. So then that way, no one's paying really out of pocket. And then I think it's like $30 per player, kind of covers all of the hospitality for the season.
Perfect. Great.
I believe Ms. Kraus sent a message to the chat as well.
Yeah. Great.
But yeah, that's a big part about rugby, and we're a welcoming sport. We all play this weird and wonderful game, and it's nice to talk to even your opponents afterwards. You can go hard on the pitch and hard tackles and hard hitting, but then you shake each other's hands and kind of have a chat over some food. It's rugby at its core.
Thank you.
Of course.
Hey, Coach. Thanks for having this and thanks for coaching. Question is the schedule completely up to date online? I heard there might be like additional scrimmages or something.
Yes, so I just confirmed there's one additional scrimmage that just got added just for our 9th and 10th graders. It's been actually, it's been pretty wonderful, the amount of 9th and 10th graders that we've had, and so it's very exciting. So we have added a match for them on May 5th. It'll be at, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing, Salesianum. It is a school, I believe, in Wilmington, Delaware.
Salads. Yep. Great.
Yes. So we'll be hosting a scrimmage there, or not hosting. We'll be traveling to them on May 5th. I've been in talks with Calvert Hall to see if we can get a couple other additional scrimmage kind of put for those younger boys, for the 9th and 10th graders who are new to the game. But then on the additional for JV or varsity, that schedule should be set. MIAA schedule is set, and then varsity has a scrimmage next Friday, and then on the 29th we're hosting Vienna Rugby Club, and then so the schedule other than those two should be set. I can send out an email to everyone just kind of with the additional with the final schedule that I have right now.
For away games, is there transportation provided back to Loyola? Or if not, is there a way for parents to kind of communicate to see if someone could give a ride or offer a ride?
Of course. So we will always have transportation to the match, and kind of depending on the amount of boys that need round trip, then we will have it. Typically, we'll do a one-way drop-off with a school bus, and then we will bring some of the school's mini buses to shuttle the boys back. Parents show up and also can pick up and take the boy directly after the match. But then for those that need transportation back, we'll organize with mini buses to get that round trip.
Thank you.
If there are any more questions, feel free to hop in.
My son came home with some pretty big news today. Can you elaborate on the trip? Do you not know that much yet?
I just was looped in myself about that today. Yes, I can elaborate a little bit on that. So the school has been in contact with a school in the UK. There is a school, it's called St. Mary's. It's another Jesuit high school, or middle and high school in the UK. And I believe Loyola has been in conversations with them about setting up a pseudo exchange program. They're looking to do a trip this coming June. The thing that St. Mary's supposedly does very well is they have a very good rugby program as well as also an arts program. So they were kind of pitching it to Loyola as if you have any rugby players who are interested, or if you have people in theater or music that were interested, that they'd be happy to host. They have an international dorm there where they kind of host people from all over the world. So I'm still waiting to hear some of the specific details. It was just kind of to see if there was general interest. I believe it would be about a 10-day trip, but I just been looped in on the process myself. The school has kind of been handling the back end of that, but I am expecting an email from the school that then I am going to send out to the team with kind of extra information, and I can also send that out to all the parents in a separate email for your review. But I think it's a great opportunity. If they do have interest, I've been fortunate enough to go to a couple foreign countries to play rugby, and kind of getting that foreign exchange, and kind of seeing how other clubs do it, and then also kind of seeing, other school facilities and kind of working with that Jesuit network, I think is valuable for the boys. So that is that's all the information I have now, but I will send it out as I have more.
Hi, is there any information for why there's only 3 league matches this season instead of playing each school twice like we've done in the past?
That was a decision by the MIAA.
Okay.
They decided that there weren't enough matches outside of the MIAA to get the teams a more diverse pool, I guess you can say. So they decided that varsity was only going to play each other once before they go into the playoffs. I can't say I agree with it. It was a decision made before I was brought on. I don't think it's necessarily very good. It's been hard to kind of schedule with the other programs, especially since MIAA season doesn't line up with Maryland Rugby. So we've tried to backfill with a few opponents. I know the schedule isn't as firm with having a match every week for something kind of put together. So it is unfortunate the way that it came together. I would prefer them to have 2 matches, but that's something that the MIAA we're going to have a discussion with going forward.
Thank you.
Can graduating seniors attend that UK trip as well?
I believe the school is focused more on underclassmen, but they didn't say no when I asked originally. Again, I'm still waiting on details, but okay. I because I asked specifically, and they're looking more for juniors and sophomores.
Okay.
But if a senior has interest, I don't think that they'll fully say no.
No. Okay. Thank you.
My son joined kind of late, and I need to be added to the parent email list. He's a freshman. He's on the freshman sophomore team, but I'm looking at the chat, and there's a bunch of parents who need to be added to various teams. So I just wanted to give you a heads up.
Great, thank you. I will make sure I can pull all of those messages off the chat so I can get everyone added as well. I don't send a lot of emails, but when I do, it's good to have everyone involved. So I'll make sure I grab everyone.
Do they go? So let me ask you this: do your emails go for both varsity and JV, or should we be looking for other JV? I haven't gotten any messages except for this one, so I'm assuming I'm not on the list.
Okay, I'll make sure to have you added. So rugby is handled a little bit different than some of the other sports. We are act all together as a team. So varsity and JV train together. They work together. I send out emails to the full roster together, and the parents all together for updates on both sides. We will in the coming week or two start setting rosters. I'm allowed to name 25 players to each side, and then there'll be a handful kind of due to numbers that'll be on that 9th and 10th freshman sophomore side for the newer players who are just learning the game, that aren't ready necessarily for a JV, but they'll keep training. They'll sort of full part of the team and can be brought into that JV 25 throughout the season based on availability and the kind of form of players. If they start picking it up faster, they could be added into that. But rugby, we treat everything. We all are one team. We all work together. So everything is split out. Or everything is not split out, excuse me. The emails go all together. So, but I will make sure I see all these messages flying through after the call. I'll make sure I add them all to my parent roster. And I know that there is a system on campus, I believe as well. I can have the school double check and make sure messages are sent there appropriately.
Thank you. And then can I ask one more question? So my son's his first time playing rugby. He loves it, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So if they don't make that roster 25, is that roster like fluid throughout? I mean, that's what it sounds like listening to you. That's sort of fluid, or what happens if they don't make the roster?
It is fluid for JV. So varsity, once you play a varsity match, you cannot play down. However, with the way that the MIAA messed with the schedule, JV has a lot of matches beforehand. So the JV roster will be fluid. So if for newer players, as they're learning the game and they start feeling more comfortable as that season progresses, they may be pulled into that 25 that gets named for that match that week. Due to injuries or availability, the teams can be flexible. So if a player doesn't make that 25, though, we are working to add in additional, at least a scrimmage or two for the 9th and 10th graders.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Sure. Sorry, I'm trying to pull up the comments. My phone is struggling with me. I saw a question come through asking about rugby, but I cannot access it. Sorry for the delay.
I can read it to you.
Yeah, if you don't mind, that'd be great.
No,
Teams has frozen on my end.
So it says, for the new parents, it may be helpful to explain how rugby is different from other teams, how substitutes work, positive cheering, and referee respect. Was that the one? I think that was the last message.
I think that was the one I saw the beginning of.
Okay.
That is a very good question. I can explain it. It'll take a little bit of time. Rugby, you get to name 15 players to a starting team. There are 15 players on each side, with a substitute bench of 10 players per side. Varsity is a little bit different on the substitutes than JV. On varsity, once the substitute is made, that player is substituted off, and then they're out for the remainder of the game, barring a few other circumstances. JV, it's what we call rolling subs. It's almost akin to a hockey line change. You can add players in and out, and they can kind of exchange throughout the game. So they can almost in shifts. They can be in for 20 minutes and then take a 5-minute break and then go back in. And then for the referee abuse or not abuse, excuse me. Well, sometimes it's abuse, but that is one thing that I take very seriously. I actually myself am a referee. I have told the boys I have 2 essentially unforgivable penalties. It's talking back to the sir. It's just not allowed in rugby, especially. They are the authority. They are the sir. We are respectful to them. We only talk to them through our captain. It is not an environment where if we disagree with a call, we chatter back to the referee. We voice our displeasure at that time. The ref is not going to change their call, so you have to deal with it. And you can talk to your captain, and the captain can ask for clarity down the line. But we do not talk back to the ref. We do not insult the ref. It's just not allowed, and I don't allow it. And the boys are coached to have respect for the ref. In that same vein, rugby is a very positive sport. We don't bring each other down. We pick each other up. We all are working to accomplish the same goal. It's 15 players that have to act as one. It's 25 players who really get you that full victory, but only 15 are playing at the same time. So it's important to play together and pick each other up. We all started playing rugby and we're new at some point. So especially for the new players, coaching them up, letting them know that they're doing a good job. It's a hard sport to understand. It's very confusing. It goes against what a lot of the boys have played previously with soccer and football. It's just a different style. So it's a very positive environment. I try to foster. I think it's good. It build up that confidence and let the boys become better rugby players through that kind of a positive environment. So definitely positive cheering on and no talking back to the referee. there any other questions? Well, if there's aren't any more questions, I'll stay on and I will try to access the comments and get everyone added onto the appropriate email chain. Feel free to stay on as I do that. If you have additional questions, my email, you will receive an email from me, but I'll also send my cell phone. You're always available if anybody has a question, rugby specific, or has a question kind of about the way that something happened at training or the way to kind of approach training for some of the boys. So feel free to kind of contact me all the time and use me as a resource. I'm here for the program and for the boys. So I'm happy to help in any way that I can.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
You too.
You too.
Coach Brady, can I ask you a specific question?
Good night.
The actual position that I was doing?
Yeah.
So
yes.
It's the person gets filled up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
I saw online, like, there's a way to tape the legs. So there's like looks like a little shelf with like kinesiology tape and some kind of padding so the boys can pick them up. Do you want me to teach him how to do that? Or is that something like the AT will do?
If it's not typically something that the athletic trainers will do, they're not familiar with that taping technique. If it's something that they would be comfortable at running around and playing with, I would suggest it. It can definitely help in the line out. It helps get them up. It's a little bit easier of a lifting surface. So if I would suggest it, if they're comfortable running around with the tape on them. Not everyone likes having the tape on their thighs like that. So it's kind of finding a middle ground where it's not too tight or too uncomfortable, but gives that lifting surface.
Okay, I'll play with it and see like if I can get the technique down for him.
There's a lot of YouTube videos about kind of for forwards. Typically it's a lock who is being lifted. So if you look on YouTube for lock taping techniques, they actually sell specific like sponges. They're often referred to as sausages that kind of act as that shelf that then gets taped to the thigh. So if that's something that the boys has an interest in, then absolutely, I would say give it a whirl. It makes lifting them a little bit easier.
Okay. And would England be on the table for a freshman this summer?
I believe so.
Okay.
I think they're looking specifically more for sophomores and juniors, but again, I didn't get an exact no, but I still am waiting on details. I had a phone call with the school very briefly earlier today where I was looped in about the process. So I'm still in the early stages myself of seeing kind of what that will shake out as.
Thanks so much.
Mm-hmm.
So, Nate, I'm still here. I was get this last one. I'm just going to email you the chat so you don't have to.
I actually, so I figured it out. I got onto my computer at the same time and I could see the conversations, I believe. Let's see the chat. Where'd you go?
But there's like, I think you definitely need to get the on-campus, list coordinated, because we shouldn't have to build or compile the email lists independently from on campus.
Yes, so that's one thing that I've been working with Mr. Burns to build. Since he has the school access. I'm not a full-time employee with the school, so I do not have access to on campus and some of those back end portals. Mr. Burns is working to kind of keep that roster up to date, and also for the athletic training side, making sure that everything on our back end is up to date. So we're working. I'm trying to kind of find a system that works best for me to be able to send messages. It's just kind of hard without having that direct access to the on campus.
Okay. Yeah, I've gotten your messages, but I haven't been getting any Sign Up Geniuses or anything. And
I don't believe we've really started the Sign Up Genius yet. That just started.
Okay.
I just loaded emails into that last week, and I believe a sheet will go out for. There's a varsity scrimmage against Calvert Hall this Friday, so something should be going out soon, I believe.
Okay. Sounds good. I was gonna say I don't even know if I got them last year. So
Okay. The list should be fairly up to date. I will need to add the additional emails, but we should, the bulk should be there.
Okay. Well, thank you. We're looking forward. It's exciting season.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.